What's up, guys? It's the Carp here, back again with another video. Today is going to be the second episode, I guess you could say, of my rating predictions series. Again, I might do more of these, like I mentioned in the first one, which you can go check out if you haven't seen, but I'm not exactly sure. This one's going to be a transfer special, so we're going to jump straight into it with the top 3 rated players that have been transferred so far, at least what I think are going to be the top 3 rated players. Starting off with Lukaku. I've given him an 87 rating. Now, immediately that might jump out at you, and you might be like, whoa, that's way too high for Lukaku. I would say 85 or 86 would be fair, probably 86, but since he did make his big money move to Manchester United, I think that is the sole reason that he's going to jump up that extra rating to 87, and those are the sort of stats that I think he's going to be getting. And then next we have Benucci. Probably one of the best transfers on this list that I have of 9 players. AC Milan have picked him up. Not that expensive either. He's went from Juventus. They're one of their main rivals, their historic rivals. So surprising they picked him up. And I think he's going to keep his 87 rating. He might go down 1, but it would kind of be unfair for A to do that. I think he's going to keep his rating, though, at 87. I've just kind of adjusted his stats a little bit. I put his pace down by 1 because that's what EA tend to do as players get older. But it could stay the same. The stats don't really matter too much. It's mainly the rating. But then moving on to James Rodriguez, the first of a few Real Madrid players that have transferred out of the club. And this is the biggest profile one. James, 87 rated in the last FIFA. I think he's going to be 86 rated in FIFA 18. Could keep his rating of 87, but if we're like being realistic, he's got to get a downgrade. He sat the bench most of last season, and even though he's a great player, and I'm gonna miss him with the club, he really just isn't in the highest. Like, he's not in that highest quality player category. Now, hopefully, he will grow at Bayern Munich, maybe get a little bit better defensively, and then come back to Real Madrid. Of course, there is a buy or an option to buy. There's an option to buy with his loan to Bayern Munich, so he'll probably end up staying there permanently. But yeah, I think he's going to get a downgrade. I have upped some of his stats, though, to more accurately reflect his game. He's not a bad player by any stretch of the imagination, but I do think he's going to get a 1 rating downgrade. And then we move on to the next 3, and it's going to be a couple more Premier League players and then Douglas Costa. So we'll start with Morata. I put him at 85, and the same as Lukaku do, really. I think he would probably get an 84 rating if he was staying at Real Madrid. But he has completed his move to Chelsea, so I think that because he's done that, he's going to get that extra rating. Not that Chelsea are any better than Real Madrid, not even close, but he has made a big transfer, so he's making waves in the transfer market, so I think he's going to get that extra rating. And 85 is still not too high of a rating, and I think if he does perform in the Premier League next season, he'll probably jump to 86 or 87. But definitely huge potential there for Morata, and I'm sad to see him go. He's left us twice now. Hopefully, we don't come up against Chelsea in the Champions League and get knocked out by Morata scoring a couple goals, like what happened against Juventus a couple seasons ago. And then we have Douglas Costa, speaking of Juventus, who has moved there. I think this one is on loan as well, probably with an option to buy, but not exactly sure on this one. And I think he's going to get a boost of 1 just because he's a great player. I'm surprised Bayern Munich let him go, but saying that, Bayern Munich do have so many great players right now. Bayern Munich trying to compete with Real Madrid for the biggest bench of all the teams in the world. At least it's what it seems like they're trying to do. But they have let Douglas Costa go to Juventus, and I think he'll probably perform well at Juventus. Just giving him some slight upgrades, and I think he's going to go up by 1 rating. He could stay the same as well, but he did have a pretty good season at Bayern Munich when he played, and since he made again a big transfer to Juventus, another big team, I think he's going to get that rating boost. Then Lacazette, I've given an 86 rating. He, I believe, got upgraded by 1 this FIFA. I think at least. He may not have actually. I don't know. But anyways, I've given him an 86 rating. I think that's pretty fair. He's had a couple of really good seasons at Lyon now, and he has made a move to Arsenal. I believe it was their record transfer signing Lacazette. And I've given him some pretty decent stats. He's a really good player in real life. and I think he'll probably do well. Given him one higher rating than Morata, and I think that's probably deserved. He's a little more proven. He did play a lot more than Morata did last season. Um, but yeah, I think he's going to get that 86 rating. And again, if he has a good season in the Premier League, he'll probably jump up to an 87 or an 88 rated player. But we'll just have to wait and see about that. Then we have 3 right backs. Manchester City getting 2 of them, and starting off with Kyle Walker. I think that was a great signing by them from Tottenham. Walker had a pretty decent season with Tottenham, and again, because he's making that big money move, I think he's going to jump up to an 84 rated. Normally, I would say probably 82 is fair, or maybe even 83. But since he's moved to Man City, I think he's probably going to get that 84 rating. And I've given him stats to sort of reflect that rating. I don't really watch too much of Kyle Walker, so these stats are just kind of like slight upgrades. But yeah, I think that's the card he's going to get. And then Dani Alves, I think, is going to get, again, like Bonucci, a downgrade on pace, even though he's not necessarily slower. And I think he's going to get a downgrade in rating as well. Because even though he didn't have a bad season last season, and he did really well, I don't really understand why Juventus let him go. You know, he's a great player to have in the team. Really gets the spirits up. Really leads the team from that right back position. He's kind of like Marcelo in the sense that he's got a lot of heart. He really fights for the team, so I'm surprised they let him go. But he's going to be a great addition to PSG squad. But I think he's going to get an 84 rating. And again, I've just given him just slight stat changes, not really anything too major. And then on to Danilo, I've given an 82 rating. Another Real Madrid player leaving, and I think he had a really good season at Real Madrid. I would say, I really wouldn't want to see him go. Same as Morata. He's been a great backup right back for us. And I've given him some decent upgrades there, and I think he's deserving of at least an 82 rating. He's probably as good as Kyle Walker, to be honest, in real life. It's just the fact that Walker gets hyped up because he plays in the Premier League. But Danilo is a really good right back. I think he's going to play very, very, very well for Man City in the next season. But those are the ratings of those 3. Then there's the other ones quickly. And that's going to be the end of the second rating predictions video. Leave a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and I will see you guys next time.